Our beautiful planet is characterized by many incredible places and diversity of weather. Some of them are so rugged that we still wonder how they can still be inhabited by man. Luckily for you, you have the chance to be safe in your own home. And that's good because today we are going to show you the 7 places with extreme weather, where it is almost impossible to live. Of all the deserts you have ever seen, in real life or on television, this one is undoubtedly the driest of all. It is the Atacama Desert, located in Chile in South America. It stretches over 1,000 kilometers, peaks at nearly 4,000 meters high, and is one of the driest regions in the world. Moreover, certain areas would not have known rainfall for more than half a century. In this respect, an average rainfall of only 0.8 millimeters would have been recorded in the Rica region. The climate of this desert is a subtropical, desertic, but slightly mitigated due to its relatively high altitude. However, the duration of sunshine is very long. In the middle of the desert, the sky is totally clear and exceptionally limpid all year round. This is what often attracts astronomers from all over the world, who come here to admire the stars. This particular climate is mainly due to the high altitude, which prevents the formation of high clouds, which produce rain. As for the temperature in the desert, it does not differ much between summer and winter. This is due in particular to the influence of the Humboldt Sea current which runs along the coasts of Peru and Chile. Temperatures along the coast are generally mild, even springtime. For example, in the Rica region, the average is between 23 degrees in January and February, and 16 C in June and July, in Antofagasta between 21 C and 16 C, and Coquimbo between 17 C and 12 C. In the case of the region of Conchuans, which is located in a basin at an altitude of 150 degree M, temperature variations during the day are extreme. It can even snow in the morning in the middle of August. The Atacama Desert is also characterized by the many salt lakes that surround it. These milky white lakes form craters that can similar to those of the moon. The rest of the desert is divided between dunes, volcanoes, oases, and geysers. In short, a wonder of nature. It is true that where there is water, there is life, but this is quite the opposite. Although the desert is extremely arid, it is possible to meet populations in certain places, especially on the edges of the desert. The best known is the population of San Pedro, which was populated about 11,000 years ago by Amerindians of the Aymara tribe. The latter exploited the copper mines of the region, which is one of the richest in the world. We've talked about drought, now let's move on to humidity. And the wettest village on earth is in India in a commune in the state of Meghalaya, called Mawsynram. Mawsynram is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as one of the regions with the most annual rainfall in the world, more than 10 centimeters of water per day for 3 months. Scientists explain this phenomenon by the fact that this village is exposed to rain because of its proximity to the Bay of Bengal. Heavy rainfall causes other natural disasters such as landslides and floods. Every winter, Mawsynram experiences a long period between May and July when it does not stop raining. After that, the inhabitants spend months repairing their houses and roofs, cutting wood for heating and cooking, and storing food for the coming flood. And to make matters worse, the heavy rains bring with them a depressing gray, a gloomy atmosphere and sometimes total darkness, since power cuts are very frequent. It is therefore very dark in the houses, even in the middle of the day. Not very pleasant. In addition to the destructive rains, other everyday worries may seem insignificant to you, but for the people of Mawsynram, they are not at all insignificant, namely the impossibility of getting along and being heard. And yes, with the sound of rain on the rooftops, it is almost impossible to say a word. In the center of the southern United States, bordered on the north by Colorado and Kansas, on the east by Missouri and Arkansas, on the west by New Mexico and the south by Texas, is the town of Moore in the state of Oklahoma. It is characterized by the fact that it is located in the heart of Tornado Alley. A wide band comprising nearly 15 states in the center, which as the name suggests is highly exposed to tornadoes. This is because it is a crossroads of cold and warm air masses from the north and south of the country, cold, dry air from Canada channeled through the Rocky Mountains on the one hand and warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico on the other. Thermal shock usually leads to conflict in the spring, which in turn causes as many as 1,000 tornadoes a year in the United States, about 20 of which are between 4 and 5 on the Fujita scale. Scientists explain the formation of tornadoes by the instability of the atmosphere, which is accompanied by a remarkable variation in wind speed. Wind shear, therefore, favors the creation of thunderstorm supercells. Then follows the famous spiral phenomenon that characterizes tornadoes and which causes, depending on the intensity and duration, monster damage. In most cases, these tornadoes are not predictable, as the phenomenon generally does not give the weather services time to warn residents. Tornadoes are also not predictable, making them even more dangerous. The state of Oklahoma experienced a series of 66 tornadoes in May 1999, including a major tornado that devastated the small town of Moore, Oklahoma, with a population of 55,000 and killed 41 people. 14 years later, the state experienced another vortex, extremely powerful winds of 320 kilometers per hour that created total chaos in just 45 minutes, ruined buildings, destroyed schools, and a total of 24 deaths. Look out! Volcanoes in sight. Costa Rica is the country with the most active volcanoes in the world. This small Central American country, bordering Panama and Nicaragua, has nearly 116 volcanoes, 2 of which are dormant, Barva and Erosi, and 5 actives, Arenal, Irazu, Poas, Rincon de la Vieja, and Turrialba. The country is located at the meeting of 3 tectonic plates on the Pacific Ring of Fire. The most impressive is the Arenal volcano, which is the subject of much attention for its spectacular lava flows, and the Turrialba volcano, which was awakened in 2007 and whose activity continues to increase. It produces gas fumes, eruptions, rock jets, phreatic explosions, and, worse still, magma flows, as happened in September 2016. The Irazu, located on the same base, remains relatively more tameable and easier to access. It offers a very visible crater in good weather and a sumptuous acid lake. However, the most spectacular and most dangerous of all is the Poas volcano. Closer to the capital than the others, Poas very frequently produces acid geysers that can reach a height of 300 meters. Better not to be around. However, it has a beautiful green lagoon. So, there are not only bad things in a volcano. The Rincon de la Vieja, located in the north of the country, is known for its permanent activity. It often erupts and access is strictly forbidden. Its main characteristic is the presence of several activities, including fumaroles, mud geysers, and hot springs, most of which are used for the production of geothermal energy. Have you ever had the opportunity to see walls of snow several meters high? No. Well, in Japan they exist and are of course natural at this time. In the north of Japan, there are the Hakkoda Mountains. Every winter, daily snowfall is so heavy that the snow walls can be up to 20 meters high. This place is located in the Aomori region, and it is one of the world's most energetic regions. Although Hakkoda was the cause of major accidents around the beginning of the 20th century, it is now a national park that hikers and ski enthusiasts love. The snow that falls here is very light but is present in such large quantities that it is very difficult to walk on it or move forward. There are hundreds of places in the world where extreme heat is prevalent, especially in Asia. India is known to be one of the hottest countries in the world, so much so that even its inhabitants still haven't gotten used to it. The heatwave wreaks havoc every year, as the country can experience temperature rises of up to 50 degrees. In the capital New Delhi, not far away, in the Turpan Basin in China, a place is also known as the China Furnace, where the temperature has already risen to 49 degrees. Turpan owes its desert environment an extremely arid climate, because during the summer it is particularly hot and dry, due to the intensity of the sunshine and the rainfall that is scarce during the rest of the year. We end up with a little freshness. Well, a little is not quite the right word to use, since Oymyakon is the coldest inhabited village in the world, with temperatures as low as 70 C in the middle of winter, which makes it almost impossible to live there normally. Get out your mittens and hoods, it's going to be cold. This village is located in the Republic of Sakha, in eastern Siberia near the Arctic Circle, precisely 5,300 kilometers from the Russian capital. The village peaks at about 740 meters of altitude and has, not surprisingly, very few inhabitants. The winter days last only 3 hours compared to 21 hours in summer. If that's not extreme. And if the village suffers from an extreme subarctic climate, this is because it is reinforced by the presence of 2 mountain ranges, located on either side of the town. In winter, the temperature can drop as low as -67.8 degrees. In 1926, the record would have been -71.2 degrees. Of course, you can imagine that such temperatures are also accompanied by great worries. To begin with, the soil in the municipality is continually frozen, making cultivation almost impractical, and as a result, the inhabitants of these regions become dependent on food imports. Otherwise, they have to settle meat and fish. Residents are not allowed to wear glasses and have to endure blinding white snow, which can stick to their faces. In addition to this, there is a non-existent network, mobile phones without any use, frozen vehicle engines, etc. Even the toilets are located outside the houses, because of the frozen ground, there are practically no internal pipes. Hello, intimacy. So, what do you think of these 7 incredible places with extreme weather? Could you live in one of them? Tell us in the comments.